Hello, my name is Tilly.
And my name's Connie.
And together we are the Mindful Mates.
And you're listening to
The Elevated Terror Talks. So the month of October, all our videos are going to be spooky.
Spooky.
Scary and a little bit dark. With obviously some light because it's us. And we've got candles. So,
Light.
you know.
And we've got some beautiful cupcakes on show today.
Some Halloween cupcakes that have been made.
Yes.
All you listeners, go over to YouTube right now or check out our Instagrams and check out these cakes we are about to show. Get ready. They are vanilla with these fucking amazing.
And you can get chocolate ones as well.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Guys, we are so excited to eat them. They are 100% cruelty free and vegan, and literally you need to go and check these out.
Guilt free.
if you are wanting some, check out Alicia on Instagram and Facebook at ICF_baking. Oh my god. Connie, just talk about the look of these cakes. You are a big cake
I'm a cake
person.
Yeah.
So
is that a word? Cakey?
Caker.
I'm a
You're a cake
foodie.
fusionist.
Like just to look at the icing skills on them, like on the butter icing. Oh my god, it makes my taste buds just like my mouth is watering right now.
Mm-hmm. And she does cookies and everything. Just go check them out. Brownies. Oh my god, why didn't I get brownies? I love brownies. Anyway, guys, check them out for some Halloween treats this Halloween because they are amazing. And do you want to do the happy news?
Yes.
Happy news. Doo-doo. Doo-doo.
Okay, so happy news for this week. I think it's a really nice one, but I say that every week because I'm biased. An organisation called Animals Saving Animals has trained a 10-month-old Springer Spaniel to basically sniff out guns and ammunition over out in Kenya. So they've sent the dog to Kenya in order to sort of like stop poachers, like rhino poachers. So, you know, they send it on sort of a trail and then the dogs will sniff out all these guns and stuff and then basically, try and stop the poachers because the poachers just are literally like, they want the ivory, so they just basically just kill the rhinos. Or saw the bloody thing off and sedate them and they just wake up without.
And they're getting little dogs to do it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
I just hope the dogs are well looked after and they aren't going to be like...
They'd have to be, really, to, to work and be effective. They have to be looked after. But obviously it's from here, from the UK, sent over. So I hope we've got good sort of standards, haven't we?
Oh,
so, yeah.
I'm so we can save some rhinos. Rhinos are so beautiful, but they're fucking scary. But
I saw them in the wild with the babies.
When you went to... Wow.
Yeah.
Can we see them?
It resonates a little bit with me because I just think when I seen them, I just thought, how can you kill them? Like literally abuse them, not even like a quick kill. It's just
because to me there is a sort of detachment because I've only saw rhinos in like pictures and I've never experienced the full.
Yeah.
Like
it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
It is overwhelming. They're so big. Even the babies are so big, but like, so gorgeous. Like, why would you want to kill another?
Just for some
like
cash dollar.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it happens, but hopefully that's a step in the right direction. Do we have any more updates on life?
Don't think so.
No.
No.
Let's start with section 1 of this podcast is going to be how to have a more eco-friendly Halloween. Obviously, this year, you're not going to be attending too many Halloween parties.
And if you are, don't admit to it.
Just don't tell anyone, you know.
But, you know, like close gatherings or you've got children.
Or, like us, we're having a Halloween movie night.
Yeah.
So, if we want to decorate the house to really set the mood, we can use some of these tips.
Yeah.
And obviously, hopefully, we're not going to be in this situation forever. So you can
take the tips for next year.
Yeah, start taking these tips for next year. So number 1 is use secondhand decorations or reuse things you have around your house already. So like I had this bottle of Jack Daniels, I think that was.
That's not Jack Daniels.
That's not Jack Daniels, it's Captain Morgan.
Morgan.
So Tom had that and I reused it. These candles were just some I already had in my house. So
we just lit them and made them look all...
Yeah, made them look all spooky.
Seasonal.
And then I had these fairy lights just to,
light it up.
Yeah, and with glass jars as well, you can put fairy lights in and maybe some like... eyeballs. Just take your eyeball out and just put it in the jar. You could do like
or you could get like ketchup and put it in there.
Oh, yeah, and make
that looks
it
quite
like...
spooky, yeah.
Yeah. So there's just so many things you could do. You can add... like
nail varnish as well. That'll look like blood because it'll settle on top.
And then if you put nail varnish in, then put like red nail varnish in and put fairy lights in.
Or like if you've got any food colouring in the cupboard that you don't use, put that in. Yeah.
And then you can use, if you make cloth buntings like from old t-shirts and stuff, you can just reuse those every year.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got our squashes which obviously are real squashes, so
yeah, which we will use
to
eat because we love food
and we're poor. No, I'm joking. But yeah, no need to buy plastic ones because you can get real ones from the shop, but they're like 50p each.
Yeah. Nothing. And you can use even the pips in pumpkins are edible and they are actually really nutritious. Yeah. So like because so much pumpkin goes to waste every single year, like it's ridiculous. So if you're only using pumpkins to carve them,
save the ingredients. Save the actual pumpkin, don't chuck it, and maybe make like a nice pumpkin tart or a pumpkin pie with gravy and tatters.
Yeah. Or just ask someone if they want some insides of pumpkin.
Yeah.
Because if my next door neighbour was making a pumpkin and they were like, "Do you want the pumpkin?" I'd be like,
or
"Yeah, give me the
see
insides."
If your neighbour's got a compost heap.
Yeah.
Like my neighbour. Whack it in there. So yeah.
And when you're buying the pumpkins, try to either, because you've got nothing to do now, so grow your own, or buy organic and locally.
Yeah. So there's a lot of farms that are, you can pick your own pumpkin or whatever.
Costumes?
Yes, costumes. So we could, make your own costume. So, use any sort of like old top or bottoms or anything. Or go on Spock or Facebook as well.
Yeah.
Again, decorations on there, old Halloween costumes on there. No need to buy any from the shop.
No, just look on Spock for old Halloween.
So if, this is a bit of a segue, but there's so much water. It takes so much water to make the cotton, to make even a plain top.
Yeah.
And if you're literally just using that, for like a seasonal thing, like you might as well just use something that you've already got or something that someone else hasn't used.
Yeah, like
just save all that water, litres and litres of it.
So for Halloween costumes, what I've done before, I've had this skirt, the skirt I wore last week. It's just a puffy black skirt, and I can wear it normally, and I can use it for a Halloween costume. Just mix it up with some tights.
Dress it up in a different way.
Yeah, and then one year I used it as a witch. One year I used it as a fortune teller. And also my mom, she needed a Halloween costume and she didn't have much time. So her old wedding dress she didn't use. She ripped it up, put blood all over it and used as a dead bride instead. And she just uses that every year.
Bloody hell.
As a because really, is anyone going to remember what you wore last Halloween? Probably not.
No.
So either make your own from something you already have, or Facebook Marketplace, Spock.
Yeah.
Borrow, ask a friend.
Yeah.
So for face makeup, most of the time you buy makeup like paint.
Yeah,
once.
or like the squirty bloods or whatever.
Yeah, in the little plastic tubes that literally are used for one night and then they're in the bin.
Yeah, you can actually get just simple recipes up as well.
Yeah.
Google that.
So either use the makeup you already got, like black eyeliner, just fucking
put some scars on
do some kitten or some lipstick, smudge your lips, smudge your makeup.
Yeah.
Or, help a small business and have a makeup artist do it. Because 1, there's no waste. 2, it will be better. And 3, you're helping a small business.
Exactly.
Check out my little sister. Her Atti's just here. She does amazing face paints.
Yeah. Like literal, like face paint, neck, chest, full on.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And then if you're having your makeup done like that, no one really looks at your costume, do they? So just wear all black and then have your makeup done.
Like really good.
Yeah. And then no one will look at your costume. And then there's no waste because makeup artists tend to buy their makeup in big pots, so it's
in bulk anyway. Yeah.
Completely less waste. Trick or treaters, sweets. What are alternatives?
So you've got the sweets that we had before, the Cofton candy.
Yes, yeah. Cofton candy.
So literally, yeah, that's right. Literally posted through your door. It's sort of biodegradable packaging, like cardboard, and there's no plastic waste.
Or look out for zero waste shops, and they have Eden's Way. They have zero waste sweets. You can just buy in bulk, and then when the trick or treaters come, just give them sweets.
You can have like little bags or something, like little paper bags.
Get yourself some cakes. Give those trick or treaters, or make your own cookies. Yeah, because
your cookies are banging.
Banging. Those trick or treaters would come back every single year. They'd be like, "Can I have some cookies, please?"
I mean, obviously, you're probably not going to be doing trick or treating this year, but you've got kids that you need to still please. Yeah. So you could always just order them
Or like next year, if you're having a gathering, or like we're having a gathering, we could make some cookies to have when we're watching our films. So just there's so many alternatives now for sweets and chocolate and stuff you can.
I've got a good tip as well.
Go on.
So all the cobwebs that you buy from like the supermarkets, and to make it all look scary, just go on top of your wardrobe. Like, not even joking. I bet not everyone cleans on top of their wardrobe, just saying.
That is very, very true.
So, why don't you just use natural cobwebs?
Natural cobwebs. Just bring a few spiders in and get them to just have a ball day in your house. Glitter. Glitter is so bad. Like, the little thingies in glitter, the plastic,
the water system as well.
The little things, and you might think, it's just a bit of glitter, but it's not just a bit of glitter. It's actually very harmful, because think of how many people just say it's just a bit of glitter, and because it's so small, it can get through anywhere, and into anything. So either guys, stay away from the glitter, use fairy lights to just wrap the fairy lights around yourself.
Don't set yourself on fire.
Actually, that was a really bad idea.
Yeah.
Do not do
really
that.
Bad.
Do not do that.
You know, on them, was it like heart attack or something? It's like, don't try this at home.
Yeah, do not try that at home, guys. I'm really sorry for suggesting that. Or there is biodegradable glitter. Yeah. You can buy biodegradable glitter in bulk.
A bit more expensive, but...
Yeah,
if you care about the planet, then
and if you're just using it once a year, then it's going to last forever if you buy it in bulk without packaging.
Yeah. And if you're having like a gathering or whatever, a little party, buffet foods, just ask people to bring their own cups, like
and
glasses, plates, cutlery, or just use like your own out the drawer if you've got enough. But try not to buy plastic cutlery, even wooden chuck away cutlery, because there's no need. You might as well
just get everyone to bring their own. One, because there's no waste, and two, because then they take it home with them and you ain't got to clean up. Do you know what I mean? And then think of all the beer bottles that they leave. You can use those next year for our beautiful candles.
Not even for Halloween, just
for even autumn time, like to make Christmas. It feel comfortable. Yeah, Christmas and autumn time. Do you have any more tips? There are just so many ways that you can just be more conscious of the environment during Halloween time.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much waste when it comes to like seasonal decorations.
Yeah, there is.
Like it's ridiculous, and
the supermarkets push it on you, and you think, oh, it's all right, it's only a pack of that.
Yeah, because when we did the podcast, we thought, oh, let's get some decorations, and then we were like,
because we're looking in charity shops. That's what you could do. Look in charity shops,
and then we were like, why?
There wasn't really anything anyway.
We had that from last week. 2 weeks ago when Billy was on, and I said, let's just turn it around. And then we found these glasses at home, and then we just put candles in.
Table cover. So this I got off my boyfriend's mate when I wanted to make my, what did I have? A plant pot, an outdoor plant pot, planter. And I had this float the bottom of it, but there was so much, like a big roll, and it was just sat outside doing nothing. And I thought, wow, that'd be quite good as a table cover. Yeah, so we just used that.
Mm-hmm. So when we went foraging for these things, we just went everywhere. We went to your mum's house to see if she had anything. We actually got a blanket, which is going to be good for
keep us warm as well.
Keep us warm. I know. Are you cold? So that's just a way of just being more eco-conscious. Mindful. Because
we've got to take care of the planet. Because if not us, who? So
if not us, who? Okay. And for our second part of the podcast, this is where
it
things gets spooky and
dark,
scary. Hold on a second. This is where things get real. And we talk about some urban legends. So what?
You're putting your hood up.
What? I'm getting comfortable.
Getting in the zone.
All you watchers,
I mean, we should eat a cake.
All you listeners, we've just turned off the lights, and things are gonna get spooky. So an urban legend. This is the definition of an urban legend. A humorous or horrific story or piece of information circulated as though true, especially one... Right, I've not got a clue. Basically, an urban legend is an old story that, it's a folk's tale. It's...
Yeah, like locals believe it.
Yeah.
And like...
But we don't really know if it's true or not.
Yeah, obviously it's a bit controversial. It's a bit like, is it true? Yeah or no?
Yes or no? Is it true? Just tell me.
Yeah. But you can believe this stuff if you want. There is definitely a few dimensions out there. Do you want to start it off with
Banshee? So what is a Banshee? So a Banshee, Banshe, is said to be a fairy in Irish legend, and her scream is believed to be an omen of death. So basically, there's two types of Banshee. So one is one's the Scottish Banshee and one's the Irish Banshee. So they both have different versions, but I'm going to tell the Irish one because the Irish one was a bit more spookier. And then I couldn't be bothered to search the rest. So an Irish Banshee can appear in different ways, either ugly or beautiful, with red eyes from because she's been crying. So I think basically what she is someone who's passed away in a family, and she just pops up here and there. How do I listen? I'm just gonna read it. So she's oh my gosh. Okay. So an Irish Banshee can appear in different ways, either ugly or beautiful, with red eyes from crying so much. The beautiful Banshee, she comes as like a beautiful young woman with beautiful silver hair, and she sings this beautiful song to a family member to warn them that they're gonna die, and they're there to help them to pass on the other side.
Oh, so you see her when you're ready to pass?
Yeah, you see her. No, you hear her, I think, more than you see her.
I think I've heard of this before.
Yeah. So you hear her, and when you hear her song, it means you're going to die. But she's someone from your family, and she's there to take you, and she loves you, and she's there. But then the fucking evil Banshee, she comes as like an old woman with long red hair, scraggly, no teeth, long fingernails, and she's like this deathly, horrible scream.
Like you don't want to pass
and you
through
hear
the
this scream, and it means you're gonna die, but it's like a more sinister scream, and it's she comes if someone died in your family and they didn't like their family, so she's come from a family she hated, so she's there.
Like the other one has come from a family with like
she's loved,
love and yeah.
So and she's there to celebrate the fact that you're dying. She's not there to help you. She's there to celebrate. And sometimes they actually seek out their victims, and they scream so much that they actually cause you to kill yourself, because it's that intense and scary. And I listened to this story last night about this woman who had an experience with a banshee. So she was at home, her boyfriend was out, it was about, I don't know what time, it was late, it was about 10 p.m, she was watching something on TV, her boyfriend was working away, and she was watching something, and she hears at the window, and just like a constant knock, and she was like, oh, well, he shouldn't be home yet, so she goes to the kitchen window, she opens the curtains, and the old Banshee's there, and she's like, I need your help, let me come in. And the woman's like, no, you're not coming in. And she said, it was so funny, she was like, that's not very fucking nice, and she's screaming at this girl. The woman? The Banshee's screaming at this girl, knocking, God. And she won't stop knocking, and she's screaming, and then the girl hides in a bedroom, she calls the police. And then she's sitting in a bedroom, and then she sees a shadow come from her bedroom. Oh, God. And then she hears, and the woman keeps knocking and says, let me in. How fucking scary. But then the police come, and then they check the cameras out and everything, and the police say that one camera picked the woman up on the camera, and then the camera like on the other side, there was she wasn't there. What? Yeah. So I think it's just like fucking scary.
So it's like, is she ready to pass, or that woman wanted her to go?
I think she wanted to go, but she didn't go. But like, if you hear a scream, it's immediate death basically, and every Irish family has their own Banshee.
Oh my God.
I know. Sometimes I'm glad. Like, imagine if you were Irish and you hear a scream, you'd be like,
it's me, I'm ready.
Joking. It's mine. But apparently the scream is like really not very nice at all.
I can imagine it.
So if you ever hear a scream,
Banshee. Oh God. I hope it's the nice Banshee.
I know. No, because she sings a song. If it's a scream, it's the bad Banshee.
Oh dear.
Go on, you talk about the Yeti now.
Okay, the Yeti. The abominable snowman, aka
the what?
AKA I can't say it. Abdominal snowman. Forget it. Okay, so a book was published. It was written by a man called Daniel Taylor, and it was called The Ecology of a Mystery. So it was published after a picture was taken by someone called Eric Shipman, which was a British explorer that used to always climb Everest. And one time he was out with his fellow hikers, and they were trying to find an alternative route up to Everest.
Oh, is there one set route then to Everest?
Yeah, it's like, for example, Snowdon. There's so many routes going up.
Oh, okay.
The only reason why we know them routes is because people have made the routes up. Do you know what I mean? The track up.
Yeah.
So they were out 1951, looking for an alternative route up to Everest. Bearing in mind Everest is over 8,000 metres, tall. And he comes across a massive, human, footprint, but bigger in the snow, deep in the snow, but with a huge thumb. And obviously it's a bit like a bear, but more like a human, like a big human footprint. So when the book was published, The Ecology of Mystery, that print was on the front of the book. And it's about the Yeti, the suspicion of the fact that there was a Yeti, living up in at the top of Everest. So... so Eric that discovered the print, he was highly respected amongst all the sort of Everest explorers in the community. So as soon as he said that, oh my god, there's a print in the snow, it's human but not sure what it is, everyone believed him.
Oh my god, so it's got 5 toes and a thumb.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think, yeah.
Carry on.
So everyone believed him because he knew the field, they fully respected him. So the media sort of, they took it a storm, to their advantage, really. It was 13 inches big, and in 1954, the Yeti was renamed the Abominable. The Snowman. And for years Eric was constantly searching his whole life to try and find this Yeti snowman. And the experiments led to people actually, they built a house 19,000 feet up to research how humans acclimatised to the weather, to see whether a human could actually withstand the temperatures, because it was human footprint. Maybe we evolved or something. So yeah, imagine how cold it was. Mm-hmm. And then the footprints led a researcher up to the Barren Valley, which led to the discovery that an Asian black bear would be able to make this print in the snow. But DNA and the DNA analysis did a bit more research and found out that the closest match to the footprint would have been a polar bear, so it would have been bigger than the Asian black bear, but it was still a very mysterious DNA sequence, so it was still never this is definitely a polar bear, this is definitely an Asian black bear, so it was still a mystery. And now the area's it's now got a Yeti trail where tourists can go up and follow and continue the search for the snowman.
Stop it.
Yeah, so we could go. Then I'm pretty sure it's Eric. He obviously, after searching for the Yeti, he realised that the actual area, there's people flooding to it, and it wasn't protected. It wasn't a national park at this point. So obviously, this outstanding, majestic natural beauty was going to be damaged if something if legislation wasn't in place to actually protect it. So he worked and was able to actually make it a protected area. So obviously, it's a national park to this day. And that was in 1980, in order to protect the natural beauty.
Has there been sightings since?
Well, I don't know. There is footprints that people see, but it's still inconclusive. Yeah, no one's actually seen it. And then, once I sort of found out all that, I realised so it was 1951 when Eric found the print and the search continued. And then I found out in 1921 they was also aware of it in 1921. So the footprints, the locals called it, can't say it, Meto Kangmai, which means man-bear snowman, because it was just so big.
Oh my God.
So actually, the awareness of the the Yeti has been around for so many years. It was only until Eric actually seen it again and, dug a little bit deeper, but still, they haven't found it.
Wow, that's really interesting.
It's very deep. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to research if anyone's actually seen
the
Yeti. Not his footprints. Wow, that's really interesting. So, the next one is the Indian village of Kuldara. Kuldara. I think it's Kuldara.
Yeah.
So basically, there was this village that was really, it was quite wealthy. It had 1,082 people who lived there. There was temples, livestock, possessions. Like, it was like a full-on village. It was like a successful village. And then, so this was built in the 13th century. And then, I think in the 19th century... it was abandoned overnight.
What?
Like, it went from all these people living in this village to literally no one overnight. And no one knows why. No one knows where these people went. And no one saw them go. They just disappeared. They just disappeared.
Maybe they were like figurines. Like ghosts, do you know what I mean?
Oh, who lived
Toy
there?
Town. Yeah.
Ah, that's a theory I didn't think of. So
it was never human.
There are a few, suspicions. The theory one was, according to the legend, the evil eyes of Salem Singh, the powerful Prime Minister of the state, fell on the daughter of the village head and desired to marry her by force. He threatened the village with grave consequences if they did not adhere to his wish. Instead of submitting the order, the Paliwals held a council, and people of 85 villages left their homes and vanished. So, and before that happened, so basically, I've read it now, I understand. So the guy wanted to marry someone and they were like, no. And he was like, listen, marry me or go. So they all went. And there was a curse put on the village that no one will ever live here afterwards. And no one will ever be able to come back and stay. And now it's just a bunch of ruins. Like, no one ever stays. People visit, but no one stays overnight. It's just like a bit of stone. But at one point, it was just this thriving village.
So, I wonder if you can actually stay there, or do you just feel so uneasy, or is there a rule?
Well, it's apparently really haunted. Like, people. So yeah, there's like people hear screams and cries, and most of the time, people can feel people tapping on the shoulder.
Oh, so okay, I kind of love that because I'm weird. I just feel like that would really I'm like, yes. Like,
tap me on the shoulder, ghost.
I just want to tap into I shouldn't.
No.
I just want to tap into that realm. No. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, yeah, how strange is that? There's just a village that just...
abandoned.
Overnight.
Do you believe in curses?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Because obviously we'll talk later on, but you're very much very like a believer in, the whole Egyptian curses, aren't you?
Yeah.
I feel that.
Mm-hmm. So, that one I found a bit spooky.
Oh, we've got theory 2.
Got what?
We've got theory 2, I didn't realise.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, theory 2 is actually boring one. That's why I skipped. So theory 2 is that the president? Is
this a more like realistic?
Yeah, the Prime Minister raised the taxes to such an extent that it became unavailable for the local community to survive in the village. But why would they literally leave overnight?
Yeah, that's not human-like,
no,
is it?
Like, you wouldn't say to everybody. That's like saying to everybody in like our local village, listen, fuck, or everyone in England, like, nah, fuck this, let's go somewhere else.
There'd be an eviction time. Yeah. And everyone would
be
follow
like,
it.
I'm going.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to tell everyone? Especially because there was like 1,845 people. And just to go. Nah. That one. I'm not fucking
There's too many toys as well. There's not... Nah. I believe theory 1.
There's a curse.
Definitely. Oh... This is
Beijing's Ghost Bus.
Oh, okay, sorry. I don't know what that was. Okay, so Beijing's Ghost Bus is basically the last bus to Fragrant Hills, which is the place. Oh
my God.
Is it good?
I just took a bite of the cake.
This is going to be the quickest story you've ever known. Okay, so the last bus to Fragrant Hills.
Stop talking. Take a bite of the cake.
Shut up.
We're having a break, guys.
Which one are you? Oh, you've had a green.
Guys, I'm so sorry we just did that. It just kept looking at me in the eyeball.
The plan was Tilly has one when I'm talking, and then I have a bit of one when she's talking, but...
we probably should have gone you first.
Yeah.
Okay,
go. Beijing's Ghost Bus, so the last bus to Fragrant Hills. 14th of November, 1995. Wow, 3 years before I was born. A young man got on the last bus to the Beijing Fragrant Hills. Then and then after he got that bus, he got the 302 bus. Shortly after, 2 men waved the bus down to get the
bus driver
to get the bus to stop because they weren't at a bus stop. They were just literally just in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, so 2 random men just
waved it down. Wasn't at a bus stop. The driver was a bit hesitant to stop because obviously you're like, well, you're not supposed to. Yeah, you're not supposed to. But he just thought, do you know what, allow it. There's last bus.
Allow it.
Last bus of the night. I'll be kind.
It was the last bus of the night.
Yeah, so that's why he stopped because he thought, well, how are they going to get home? So stopped the bus. 2 men got on. When the men were on board, the passengers soon realised that it was actually 3 men, not 2. The 2 men were supporting the other one, and they were all wearing these Chinese robes. Like, do you know what I mean when I say like the Chinese like cloak robes, with like the snake patterns on and bright colours? Yeah, one of them. I thought, oh, this is a bit odd. So you can imagine everyone talking on the bus, can't you? And then. They didn't interact with anyone on the bus, and they're a lot more pale-skinned as well compared to the average person. The bus driver reassured anyone that felt uneasy by telling them they were most likely actors who did not have time to change costumes before leaving work, which I find a bit odd. Like, people just gossiping to the driver, and the driver's sort of saying, "Oh, don't worry about it. They're just actors." You can imagine the old women though. So everyone sort of chilled out a little bit. The bus slowly emptied as the night went by and the stops went by, until there was just 3 men, an old lady, and the young man that initially got on the bus.
3?
Yeah, so know the 2 men that waved it down, but then they realised it was actually 3 people, not 2. And then the young guy that first got on the bus at the start of the story, and then there was an old lady left on the bus to get off. The old woman accused the young man for stealing her wallet, which sparked a big argument on the bus. So she yelled at him to get off the bus and demanded to take him to a police station because she was like, "You have stolen my wallet."
The young man is not the man of
not
the 3.
Part of the 3 that they picked up.
Can we call him Colin?
Okay, Colin. So Colin and the old lady got off the bus. Pardon me. Getting really phlegmy. And the young man, Colin, got really angry because he was like, "This is the last bus of the night. How's he going to get home now?" Because she's just pushed him off, demanding to go to the police station. And he's no longer on the bus. So, fortunately, this is where the tables turn. The young man, Colin, so the old woman picked up something that he hadn't even noticed. The 3
I'm scared.
The 3 robed men on the bus didn't have legs, and by default, must have been ghosts. This is what she noticed. So the wind coming in from the window raised their robes up, and she saw that they didn't have feet. So she made up the story to save the young man and herself and get off the bus. She made up the whole story about the wallet just to get him off the bus because she realised that the fuckers were ghosts.
The poor fucking bus driver.
Yeah, he's left on there with him. I know.
That is so
I love it. Literally, it's giving me goosebumps, and I've read it like 3 times.
That old woman, she's amazing.
She's amazing.
She annoyed me at first.
Yeah.
I was going to say, poor
judgmental.
Colin.
Yeah.
Leave Colin alone.
Yeah, but actually she saved Colin. She realised that them were
Imagine
ghosts.
if you were Colin and this old woman said to you, listen, they didn't have legs, and I'd be like, huh?
Fuck, am I getting on that 302 bus?
But where did he, there's a bus that goes from work to my mum's house, and that's the 302. You think I'm ever getting the 302 again? No way.
But yeah, the tale still goes on, that
people,
them ghosts will just get on the bus. Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's not just the first time it happened. This is just a situation of how they actually got out with it.
Wow. How did Colin get home?
I have no idea, silly.
Colin, if you're out there, how did you get home? Did that old lady give you a place to stay?
I'm pretty sure if he's alive now, he's definitely a ghost himself.
Oh my God. Wow, that story was a good one. That was a spooky story. So, my next story.
One of my favourites.
Legend. Is this one your favourite?
One of my favourites, yeah.
Is the Loch Ness Monster. So, basically, what the Loch Ness Monster is a monster in the Loch Ness. So, in Scotland, there's a big water, which is called the Loch Ness. And so, it's the biggest largest body of water in the UK, and it is a very popular attraction. Like, it brings millions to Scotland in tourism each year because people want to try and get a snapshot of the Loch Ness. So the Loch Ness Monster, aka Nessie, is a monster that has been sighted in the waters. So she looks like she's got a really long
Really?
They call her Nessie.
Oh, I didn't realise it was a she.
Well, that's what people, I don't know, they just say Nessie maybe because it's like she. Nessie's a she name. Anyway, she's got a long, massive neck that protrudes out of the water. Yeah. With like a long body. And the people have theorised that she's actually a type of prehistoric marine reptile.
Like dinosaur age?
Yeah. So she somehow survived the event that caused the extinction of dinosaurs in the water, and apparently people have theorised that there's quite a lot of them.
There's more
than one Nessie. So they're
God.
still living in there now. But people have done loads of tests. They've done like DNA tests that can see all the people, like the living things. And I don't think it's possible for that to actually be real. But like,
so is it? Do you know how deep it is?
It's fucking deep.
Is it?
I think it's really huge. So like, I don't think they can.
Great measurement that is. Yeah, it's really huge. It's
really huge. But before the 20th century, it was only a local legend. But I think in the 1920s, people started like taking pictures. There was a few famous pictures that were taken, but both of them were debunked, like that they weren't real. And since 1930s, the waters have been investigated by professionals and people who aren't professionals, and they've picked up a few things, but nothing is. It's inconclusive. So there's no proof whether Nessie is real or she's not. So people don't know. But most photographs that you see, if you Google Nessie, it's just big birds or things that have just been like planted. Like in the 1920s, the first picture was actually, I think it was like a bit of wood and a pipe that he planted just to get like a reaction out of it. But
do you believe
who knows? I don't. There's always something inside of me, even as a kid, that I thought.
Because we all like. Yes, like obviously science has to prove things and stuff, but like if you don't see it, you don't believe it. But like we're still finding out places on the planet.
Yeah.
So if we're still finding places on the planet and like marine life that lives, you know, far deep down, then
could be.
It's very likely that we just haven't got the tool yet to actually
to find
this. Yeah, because we wasn't around in them days.
There's theories also that it's a really, really, really big fish that swim in the waters and then that have access to the Loch Ness and that people have seen. But yeah, I reckon there's a monster. I like it. It's exciting, isn't it?
Basically, it could just be a fucking huge fish.
Ass fish that we don't know about.
And yeah, they're going to call it Loch Ness Monster because, you know, it's big enough to be like, for us to be scared by it. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, what's it called? The big massive shark. The Meg.
Baby shark.
The Meg.
The Meg? Is that
what it's called? The Meg.
Isn't that a film?
Yeah, it's called The Meg. Yeah, but it was like, wasn't it based on like a true thingy that there was a prehistoric shark living like below the whatchamacallit, where we can go, like too far under. But obviously the film's just like over exaggerate the fact that it's maybe it's not true. I don't know, but I want to believe it. Yeah.
Wow, that's strange. Do you want to do the curse of Pharaoh?
Yeah. So
Pharaoh.
Pharaoh.
The Pharaoh.
So a myth as the curse of the Pharaoh, a myth from the discovery of the tomb of Tutankhamun. So it's the archaeologists that discovered the tomb died not long after they discovered it with very suspicious deaths. So I think one died a house fire, but he had enough time to get out. So they was just like, I don't understand why he died, because it was just like, you know, like,
I think the suicide one, I think he was after all the other deaths. I remember reading this somewhere, and he was like, I'm gonna be next, and he kept playing in his mind so much that he killed himself.
Bit like Ouija.
Stop saying that.
Yeah, so one died of he was called Carnarvon, so the main, like the one that discovered the tomb. He was considered the most notable of the deaths supposedly resulting from the Pharaoh's curse. So he died from a mosquito bite that he received whilst on the Nile, just 6 months after the tomb was discovered. After receiving warnings about the consequences of opening the Pharaoh's tomb from someone else, like 2 weeks before we actually did it.
So he said, do not open warned. The fucking tomb because it's got a curse.
Yeah, and he did it anyway, and he died 6 months later. Yeah, there was a documentary spoke of the suicide of the archaeologist Hugh Evelyn White, who hung himself in 1924, leaving a note that was allegedly written in his blood. Obviously, you can exaggerate that, but you know.
He didn't have a pen, and it was he had to do it then and there.
Aaron Ember, an Egyptiologist who was close to Carnarvon, which discovered the tomb. He died in 1926 in a fire. And although there's plenty of time to escape, he didn't. Documentary also revealed that on the morning of the first day.
Oh no! He rushed into the fire to rescue the manuscript of a book he was working on, titled "The Book of the Dead."
Oh, although there was plenty of time to escape it. Yeah.
He rushed back to get.
He went back.
Yeah. Maybe that book had something
the secrets of. Mm-hmm. You don't know, do you?
Of Tutankhamun.
Yeah. So the documentary revealed that on the morning of the first day that Carter opened the tomb, a falcon was spotted flying over the evacuation site. So yeah, Egyptian workers considered it as a bad omen. Which, I mean, I've heard before in different stories that that's a bad omen. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Egypt has previously announced that the site, the tomb, has been under construction for about 15 years and is partially funded by Japan. It will officially open by the end of 2020. So what they're doing is, I think I've got it here.
The revamping is...
They've basically got into the tomb. Everything that was in the tomb, even Tutankhamun, they've took him out of the case. So the gold case that he was in. There was so many layers. That was like the top layer, but there was so many other layers underneath that. It wasn't just that's it, and then the mummy was underneath there. There's loads.
And they took him out of it
all apart. Took him out of it, and obviously he's very much decomposed. But they've took everything out of the actual site, reconstructed it. So because it's fallen apart and old, reconstructed it. Everything like the grave, the tomb, the artifacts, everything that was in there, jewels. There was a trumpet that was like the history of the trumpet being blown. Do you hear about it?
Yes.
Yeah. All that was taken out, put in a museum in Egypt.
Say something?
Go on.
So, that when that trumpet has been blown in the past, so the first time the trumpet was blown, I think just afterwards there was a world war. And then they blew it again, and I think there was another war.
Oh.
So when that trumpet has been blown, it's been the start of something really, really bad.
It's part of the curse.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, they've put it in the museum and took it out. It's bloody home. So everything's in the museum. Literally moved it. So, it's been removed the first time since its discovery in 1922. And they've moved it from the famous tomb to a museum near the Great Pyramid.
And they're keeping it in the museum?
Yeah, so they've reconstructed it, put it in there, and they're preparing to open it soon.
So that
for viewing.
His body is completely moved now, forever. They're not putting it back.
I don't know whether they're going to put it back, but for now they've moved it.
Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, so it'll be a bit of information about Tutankhamun if you don't know. So he was 19. You said he was deformed, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
He ruled for 9 years, so he's ruled since he was 10.
He was nobody. A lot of people didn't like him. He had a lot of people who weren't unkind to him. But people theorise now that the reason that 2020 has been such a mash-up year is because he's been taken out of his tomb.
Yeah.
And guys, if we don't put him back in, this
shit's
mash-up
gonna hit the pan.
Isn't gonna, because I think it was a really, really bad curse.
Yeah.
Because of how.
I mean, it was for years. It wasn't discovered. So why do you think it wasn't discovered? Yeah, we didn't have the tools to get through there, but why are people searching for it? It was put down there, protected, and literally, he was mummified for a reason, to preserve.
Yeah.
Don't mess with that shit.
Don't mess with that shit.
I mean, I'm not being funny. I love stuff like that, and I'd love to see things. But
I would not go in that tomb.
If there's a curse, no, I'm not going in there. But there's pictures of people in the tomb, getting stuff out and polishing things, and I'm thinking, stop messing. You're all gonna die. And now, I mean, 2020 has gone to absolute shit, and we've moved.
Well, hopefully he does go back in his tomb and by the end of 2020, so it can all be put to rest.
It's mad.
That is really crazy.
Yeah.
So the last urban legend I've got is the night marches in Hawaii. The night marchers in Hawaii. And so certain times of the year or of the month, when it's the moon cycle, when there's no moon and it's complete darkness, there's a trail that goes through Hawaii. There's certain trails that in the middle of the night there's these things called the night marchers. And what the night marchers are, they're spirits of ancient Hawaiian warriors. And so these, I think they used to travel at night to protect people, to protect the higher up people, but no one was allowed to look at them, and if they did, they would get killed and basically become a part of the night warriors. Marchers, whatever. So there's certain parts of Hawaii. There was loads of names, but I can't pronounce any of them, so I didn't. But you should not go, because if you in their path, you're fucked. So to notify they're coming, they have these really loud shell. You know, the shell honks.
Yeah.
You can feel fire, and then you hear they march to like drums.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So if you're in Hawaii and you're in that situation, and you can hear that if you're in their trail, like it's a known trail.
Yeah.
Like if you go to Hawaii, check this out before you go, because you do not want to be in their trail at night when there's no moon, because if you look at them, you'll die. And if you've got a relative who is part of their ancestor, they'll spare you. They won't kill you. But if you don't, you're dead. I think away, if you hear the drums and you see the fire and you can feel it, you have to strip off naked and lie on the floor until they're gone. And do not look at them. Yeah. It's spooky. So
you ain't going to Hawaii then, are you?
They've got huge spears. They wear like, naked tops and then covering the bottom. And yeah.
That reminds me of the American Horror Story, but which one is it when there's like...
Cult. No?
Yeah.
Cult, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a few stories I've got is in 2012, a lady was doing a job. She was cleaning at night when a column of mist appeared, and then she died the next day. And then the next month, someone claimed that they saw the lady marching with the night marchers.
No.
Yeah. I know.
That means they can see the night marchers.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought, how did they see them? That story didn't make sense.
Yeah.
But then there was this other story of this guy. So this guy, he wasn't Hawaiian. He was from Japan, and he was with his friend, and they decided to go for a drive at night. And they were driving, and then his friend was like, "Oh, I really need a wee." And he was like, "Well, it's like in the middle of nowhere at night, like," and he was like, "Just let me go out and wee." So his friend got out the car. His friend Chris got out the car. So Chris went, and I can't remember the name of this guy. I'll call him Jack. So Jack stayed in the car, and Jack was waiting and waiting and waiting, and he was like, "Okay, well, fuck, I'll go find him." And he was shouting, "Chris, Chris, Chris," and then suddenly he heard.
No.
Yeah, and then he sort of felt a warmth come on him, and then he saw the night marchers walking towards him, like he saw them, and then they saw him.
Where
and
did
they
he
were
go?
walking faster, and then suddenly this ghost appeared in front of him of Jack, and he said, "He's mine."
What?
Yeah,
they took
he
his
said,
mate?
No, so the ghost stayed in between Jack and the night marchers, and he said, this ghost said to the night marchers, "He's mine. Do not come, he's mine."
Yeah.
And the night marchers carried on. This ghost disappeared. Jack got back in his car, drove off. I think he saw Chris with the night marchers. I think Chris passed away. And it turns out he thinks that was his granddad that saved him, because his granddad was like I think he was something to do with the Navy or something, and he saved him, and that's a true story. That's
Do you think like the ghosts with like compassionate, like that have not got a sort of like a bad omen, they can challenge the sort of negative energy, the negative ghosts?
Yeah, I reckon, because good always overrules evil, doesn't it?
Does it though?
I think there's a point where obviously if you're talking with a real fucking demon, then it's like, okay, I'm just gonna back away. But in this story, Jack's grandfather, he said no. He's mine.
It's like pagans though, when like they use the devil to do their work, and it's like, what? Like that's messing with shit though, isn't it? Like if you're not careful. I don't think I could use the devil to do.
No, that's a bit
deep in it, because you are putting sort of. I feel like you are putting the negative. energy on people. I've only seen one side, so, that's just my little tiny opinion.
I wouldn't do anything. Like when people say, you sell your soul to the devil to gain fame. No way. Would I do that?
My soul to no devil.
No.
Thank you.
No. But yeah, these night marches, they're like protecting like sacred places, so that's why they go on these marches. But I'd like to learn more about like the Hawaiian ancestry, because it's kind of, but you don't fuck with that, do you? No way, you don't fuck with that shit.
Just follow the rules. I mean, Hawaii's an island, isn't it? So
it says it is advised that you do not go looking for them. There was quite a few stories like I read and listened, and it was quite interesting. There was a guy who was actually a tour guide, and he was I think they accidentally stayed a bit too late on their tour because it was like a bit too late. So then the guy was like doing the tour, and he didn't realise it was a no moon night. So he was there, and then suddenly he said he felt a wave of warm come over him, and he fucking ditched the 40 people that he was tour guide, and he left. Him and the bus driver left, and then he was like, I'm gonna have to go back for them, and the bus driver was like, nah. But he did go back for them. And then they spared him and this little boy said, what's your name? Like one of the tour people said, what's your name or something. And I think they spared them all because they knew that guy's name. Because he had an ancestor in the Night Walkers.
Bloody hell. And
that happened to him twice, so he got spared twice.
Will he get spared a third time?
That is the question.
Would you go to Egypt though?
Yeah, I am going.
You're going to Egypt?
Yeah. Next year.
Oh, well, fucking hell.
To see Tutankhamun. Jokes. Really.
You're going to go to the museum,
The Slender Man. Let's talk about the Slender Man. The children.
You're going to Egypt, but we haven't been to Kenya.
Kenya.
No, me and you having words, bitch.
Listen. So,
because that is a long flight, you know.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's not.
Sharm el-Sheikh. Where about you going? Sharm el-Sheikh.
Right. Not this conversation on the podcast. We're talking about the Slender Man.
I ain't talking about no Slender Man.
You are.
No, I ain't. I've said strictly I'm not researching or talking about the Slender Man.
I'm joking. I would not talk about the Slender Man, the Black-Eyed Children, or Bloody Mary on this podcast.
If you want to research the Slender Man, be my guest. But if you watch the film, don't get in your car at night. No way. Fuck that.
Well, that is all the urban legends we have for this week. I've enjoyed researching them, even though we both researched them at very late last night, stupidly. So, yeah, I hope that was a bit of spook for you and you enjoyed that spookiness.
It was quite scary, to be honest.
It was. That Beijing
I was really like...
Ghost train.
What's the word? Like enveloped into your stories.
Invested. Enveloped. I really enjoyed the Beijing Ghost Bus. That one was my favourite. That story hit me.
Like, what happened to the bus driver? Can someone please tell me?
I'm quite annoyed about the bus driver. That woman didn't spare the bus driver.
No.
He's probably used to it though.
Yeah.
He probably is like, fucking ghosts are back again.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus Christ. The no-legged ghosts are back again. How annoying. Imagine being that old woman and just being like, oh, they've got no legs.
Oh, their robes are lifting up.
Imagine if Chris would have been like to that old woman, I'm not fucking getting off the bus, and like belted her one and was like, what if Chris was a really nasty man and that old woman like took him off the bus just because of ghosts? Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this spooky podcast.
Go and get yourself some cupcakes.
Get yourself. We're gonna eat another one right now.
And give us a like, give us a share and a subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you're not watching on YouTube, if you're not listening on YouTube, go on to YouTube
and watch us because the spooky pumpkin vibes are real.
Yeah, and next week it just gets even more spooky. We're gonna be carving some pumpkins on the pod.
Ooh. She said it now. That means we have to do it. We don't even know what the topic next week is. yet. If you've got any ideas, guys, you've got until Wednesday to let us know. It's going to be a spooky one, but yeah, I'm excited. Okay, then. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We shall see thou. I only drank half of my tea. So next time.
See you later. Cheers.